So I came across this story, y'all, from Yahoo Entertainment. And I got to be careful in how I approach this. And I said, let me explain it to y'all. This young man at 21 years old who has a girlfriend who seems to be, by all accounts, by what I've seen on these internet streets, she seems to be a controlling person. She seems to be a Jezebel spirit. If y'all don't know what that means, then look it up, research it. We're not going to spend too much time on it because these people are trying to be active in these YouTube streets. They're trying to knock down channels. They're trying to issue content strikes. And we don't want to fall into that category. We just want to report on what is going on and be good citizens to the people that follow this channel. So when we talk about the community and we apply pressure to Black men to be leaders, to be alphas, to lead our families, to not disappear and run away from their responsibilities, but to stand up and be the leaders of their families. These are the situations that we try to guard against. So I watched the Heisman Trophy ceremony live. And when I watched it, I said, there's something weird going on here. There's something strange afoot. Didn't really understand it. Somehow I was up staring at my phone at 3 o'clock in the morning and I saw video coverage of when they announced this young brother as the winner. Now it came out later at the after party. Shedeur Sanders sat down with DNVR Sports and said, we already knew, bro. That's why this party is in place. That's why everything is set up. That's why we flew cats out here. That's why this whole party is going on, because we knew. Okay, cool. But if you knew that this man was going to be named the Heisman Trophy winner, why did Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, have to orchestrate the whole situation? Our sister Blue Sky's mom in the building. Thank you for being here, sis. They announced this brother's name as the Heisman Trophy winner. He immediately dropped his head in his hands because they separated the nominees. There were 4 in seats, 1, 2, 3, 4. He was separated from his coach. He was separated from his mother. He was separated from his girlfriend. And she's been controversial in recent weeks and recent days. She's gone viral on the internet for being such a controlling presence in his life. Y'all, this is a Jezebel spirit if I've ever seen one. And we, in a Christian community, we have different definitions based on biblical interpretations of what the Jezebel spirit is. To me, it is a spirit of defiance, and it is a spirit of control. And these are the things that I see in this circumstance, which is so unfortunate. Y'all, I saw the video as I watched it live of Deion. He stood up, his son Shedeur stood up, and they were clapping and applauding. And then the mother stood up and she was clapping and applauding. Then the girlfriend, this Jezebel spirit, stood up and she clapped and she applauded, and then she sat back down. Everybody else continued to stand. The mother stood. Deion Prime, Coach Prime stood. Shedeur stood. Even Lil Wayne stood. Everybody was up and cheering. She sat back down. I said, okay, well, you didn't see all that in the main camera feed. You just saw a close-up. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all, I saw a video posted to the Facebook page of ESPN that showed a camera from way across the room. Not the main camera that was in the face of Coach Prime. No, you're getting close-ups of everything, which means that certain things are being cropped out. I saw a video from across the room that caught everything on camera. And if I can dig it up, I'll show it to y'all. But what caught me was that Coach Prime hugged Travis Hunter's mother as she stood and she cheered. But he had to reach around her and tap the girlfriend on the arm, on the shoulder, on the back, and say, yo, chick, why don't you stand up? How about you stand to your feet for this man that you claim is your number one, to this man that you claim is your fiance? Why aren't you standing at this moment? Let me tap you and push you on the shoulder and say, yo, chick, stand up. Urban Southern Cookie saw what I saw. She said she sure did sit right back down. Urban Southern Cookie, did you see what I saw? This was amazing to me. Listen. And I want to talk a little bit about it, but let's get it. Look, listen, y'all, because these people are bent out of shape. They butt hurt. They feeling some kind of way. So we got to couch what we say, because they striking down YouTube channels. They getting folks hit. They getting their YouTube channels demonetized. They doing all kind of stuff here in order to try to protect the bag, try to protect the situation. But it is what it is. We saw what we saw. Thank you, Urban Southern Cookie, for having your boys back today. We saw what we saw. And according to this YouTube story, we go, let's attribute it to YouTube. So when they try to come from, listen, as an advocate for the brethren, as an advocate for Black men to stand up and be leaders in the community, yo, we got to take responsibility. We got to be examples for these young brothers to do better, to be better. It's on us. This is our burden. So I can't stand out here before y'all and advocate for these types of things and then let this kind of foolishness slide. When you see a brother that is, old folks used to call it, the old mothers used to call it henpecked. Anybody remember that term? Henpecked? This is a spirit of Jezebel, where a woman takes control of the mind of a man. And listen, y'all, this young brother is only 21. And mind you, if you followed me for some time on this channel, you might understand I was a father at 16, married at 17. So my story is a little bit different. A lot different. Let me just be real. It's a lot different. This brother is 21. And other folks on these YouTube streets have been reporting on this woman. Turns out, y'all, that people have alleged on this platform. I got to say it that way because they're going hard in these streets trying to protect y'all. They're trying to protect this man from the truth being exposed. But the truth is the truth. Let's just let it all out there. People have reported that Coach Prime, and listen, I know I sound a little bit scatterbrained. I'm trying to get my thoughts together as I'm here live before y'all. But people have reported that Coach Prime might be the only one who can talk to this man. I agree with that. But I saw something at 3 o'clock in the morning that let me know that Coach Prime is aware. And I said, even in my own analysis of this situation, I said, Coach Prime, where are you? Why are you not stepping up for this boy, 21 years old? He is not ready. You can see, y'all, that he's green in the mind. And he done found this woman who is allegedly, based on other YouTube channels that I have seen, that I'm not going to share here today because people feel in some kind of way. Okay, I get it. But they have alleged that this woman was at some point a dancer in a club in Atlanta. That young Travis may not have known, that she may have hidden that from him. But I've seen so many videos of these people, and it looks to me, y'all, like this woman wants to be an internet celebrity. Why do I find that problematic? Because we've seen so many examples of women who have attached themselves, shall we say, to men of status, to men of accomplishment. And when you look at the backgrounds of some of these women, you say, well, what have you done? What have you achieved? What have you accomplished? Listen, I'm gonna piss some of y'all off right now, but what has Michelle Obama done other than marry and sleep with and give birth to the children of the president? If it wasn't for Barack, will we ever know of Big Mike? I need somebody to ask themselves. Because there are so many examples. If there wasn't for a Steph Curry, will we ever know of an Aisha Curry? How you get a cooking show? How you get a restaurant? How you get pots and pans for sale at big department store? Girl, we don't know nothing about what you about because you ain't accomplished nothing but laying up with him. Ain't that what the young folks say? Oh, he's him. Yeah, that's him over there. Congratulations, sis. Soft golf clap for you being connected to him. But would we have known of you? Would we have ever heard of you had you not been connected to him? I don't know. But in the case of Travis Hunter, when I look at this situation, I say, no, we wouldn't have never known about this chick. We wouldn't have known nothing about her. We wouldn't have known her name. We wouldn't have known her face. We wouldn't have known her image, her personality. We wouldn't have known anything about this woman had she not been connected to Travis. And we've seen so many examples before them that we can kind of make an assessment on what's going on here. So when I was up, y'all, at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I saw this video on Facebook, that wasn't the same video that I saw on Live of the Circumstance. I saw the video live. I saw Dion, Coach Prime stand up. I saw Shador stand up. I saw the mama stand up. And eventually I saw the girlfriend stand up, but the main camera that was focused on them didn't catch it. If y'all see this picture on my screen here, you see that Dion reached, he hugged the mama from behind. Capture the image, y'all. Look at the image that's before you here. By Yahoo Entertainment. He grabbed the mama, ran her neck from behind. He reached behind her and tapped the girlfriend on her shoulder, on her back, something or other, and said, girl, if you don't stand up. And I understand when you got people in these moments like this who have never been there before, you got to kind of coach them. Coach Prime know what this is. He know what this is about. He's trained his sons to be aware of the situation, situationally aware. You see Shador in that photo? Y'all can see it. I got it on your screen. I see it. I'm looking at it here with you. You see Shador back there? He's standing up. He's smiling. He's cheering. Coach Prime, and they grabbed this freeze frame, y'all, because I was watching the video at 3 o'clock in the morning. I saw the whole thing. He grabbed the boy's mama from behind as she was cheering. You see her arms wrapped around his forearm. She's gripping him closely. She's cheering, but he's playing it off. He's reaching around her to tap that girl on her shoulder and say, if you don't get up for this man, I know sometimes we want to look, if we've lived a life, we want to call them boys. If we got a little bit of experience behind us, we want to call them boys. Even at 21, where Travis is, we still know that they boys. Even when you hear this boy talk, you know he green in the mind. He's already had NIL deals in college. They get paid now. It's a whole different situation. These college students are professional athletes. He's already bought his mama a house. But we know that when he signs that NFL deal, it's going to go up. It's going to be up for everybody exponentially. So if y'all can't handle it on this level, y'all, what is to come? What should we expect from an NFL deal where this boy might get some real money? Having won the Heisman, oh, it's going to get really, really real. We don't know what it's going to be for this mama or anybody else connected to this situation. Tanya F says, exactly. He's already a millionaire. Well, you see, Tanya, And I thank you for supporting. You see that this girlfriend, fiance, slash whatever, she seems like she can't take it at this level. So what are you going to do when it goes up 1,000%? What are you going to do when it's exponentially worse? What are you going to do when he's 100 times more famous than he is now? Let's look at this video, y'all, because I saw it early in the morning and I said, oh, that ain't the video I saw on live. See, when I saw the video, when I was watching it on live TV, I was focused on a shot from this guy. Y'all, I'm a cameraman. I understand. This dude was right in Coach Prime's face. So he catching all of this close-up information on Coach Prime and Shedeur. Then he went over to the mama. But it turns out in this look that I'm showing y'all, it's from across the room. It's not the camera of the man that was right in Coach Prime's face. No, that's not the look that you're looking at. You're looking at somebody with a camera phone or a camera from across the room. And this is where everything comes to light. 420 Jenkins, thank you for being here. Sal, thank you for being here. Sal says, if she was a black Jezebel, you wouldn't be making this video. Sal, you a whole lie. That tells me you a little green around these parts and you don't know this channel very well, because you wouldn't have said that if you know where I come from. I don't care whether she black, white, green, or in between. Sal. Yes, Brittany Renner is a Jezebel. Yeah, sure she is. And there's a million of them out there waiting for brothers like this. Most of them don't get to brothers as early as this before they even sign the contract. That's a whole nother topic. We'll get to that on a different day, Sal. I'm not going to throw you under the bus today. I appreciate you rocking out with us and being supportive of what we got going on here, Sal. But no, race ain't got nothing to do with it. And Sal, if you hang around here for a moment or two, I'm going to get to that. See, that's part of the presentation. I need you to just be patient, Sal, and you're going to see me get to it. But what I saw, y'all, was the camera from across the room at 3 o'clock in the morning that said, Dion had to tell this girl right here, she wasn't even going to stand up for her man in that moment. Dion had to reach around the mama and tap her on the back and say, girl, if you don't get your tail up in this, you know how them black parents used to speak to us with their teeth clenched? They used to have to talk through their teeth so we understood the gravity of the situation. Girl, if you don't get your tail up.
Travis,
Let me run it back, y'all, because that's when I knew. Because I've seen so many videos. I've seen so many videos of brothers on YouTube saying, man, seem like Dion, Coach Prime is the only one who can talk to this boy. Seem like Dion is the only one who can reach him. Seem like Dion is the only one who has influence enough to make him change his mind. Well, this video, y'all, says something else to me. It said to me that Dion knows. It says that Dion may have already spoken on it. Dion may have already addressed it. Said that Coach Prime is aware of what this situation is, so he can hug the mama and say, hey mama, look, smile for the camera, but let me reach around you and orchestrate this situation. Let me get on this girl's head and say, if you don't get your tail up in this moment, this ain't about you. We know you trying to be an internet sensation. We know you trying to be a vlogger, TikTok, IG sensation. We know you trying to be famous, but it ain't about you. Because if it wasn't about Travis, how would it ever be about you? If it wasn't for Travis and his accomplishments, we wouldn't know anything about you. How dare you try to piggyback on what this young man has done in order to try to make a name for yourself? And because he green, because he only got a little bit experience in his social life, you feel like you can take advantage of that with your Jezebel spirit and control the whole narrative. I'll play it again.
Travis Hunter.
But you heard about Travis Hunter and his fiance?
Yes, I have. And I saw that comedian Godfrey had responded to the news that Travis Hunter was engaged and that it had been purported that his fiance had stated that he originally was not her type, but that he had, and I'm
That's true.
paraphrasing here, he had since that time won her over. And with them being engaged, it appears that marriage will be coming at some point in the future, and there didn't seem to be any conversation surrounding a prenuptial agreement. There had been rumors that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, had tried to communicate with Travis Hunter that you might just want to slow down a little bit. Not to say that she's not a
believe
nice
that.
lady, not
I
to say
believe that.
she's not the one, but
Umar
you're
being very,
moving
very,
kind of fast. I
he
mean,
being careful
I'm
with his
saying
words.
now, you know, to be the #1 football player in the country or
Facts.
#2,
Facts.
depending on how you rank him and Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, both of them are my 2 favorite college football players and will probably be my 2 favorite NFL players if they don't start.
And, you know, let me preface this by saying that you all know that I don't always agree with Umar Johnson. And I don't know what he's going to say yet because I haven't seen the video. I'm reacting to it in real time. But I do remember Umar Johnson criticizing Coach Prime for walking away from an HBCU that was allegedly robbing him out of money and going over to Colorado. I just want to point that out. So let's continue.
All right, y'all. So let me just keep it real with y'all. You are officially in the matrix because I'm not reacting directly to Dr. Umar. I'm reacting to Anton Daniels, who's reacting to Dr. Umar. Why? Because it seems like me and Anton agree on a lot of points on this situation. Seems like Dr. Umar is holding back quite a bit on his assessment and analysis of the situation. I respect it. Dr. Umar don't want to step on nobody's toes. He don't want to be disrespectful. I get it. Brenda Cole in the building with the 10 with the support. Thank you so much for being here and supporting. Says, please keep my son Troy in your prayers. Today I praised God because I found out my son finally blocked his toxic girlfriend of 3 years. Wow. Wow. She says, I praised God because I found out my son finally, after 3 years, he blocked that toxic girlfriend that had his mind wrapped up, that had him wrapped around her finger, that had him all tied up, tangled up, wrapped up. He's only 23, and I know God has a different woman for him. He's waking up. Praise Jesus. Well, Brenda Cole, we appreciate you sharing that with us, and we praise God for the blessing that he has placed in your son's life. Because if we see it how you see it, if you are right with your assessment, and who gonna be more right than a mama bear who has raised that boy? We trusting that you know what the situation is, because ain't no way for us to know on this internet. But this mama saying, I'm praising God that after 3 years, he blocked this chick. He came to his senses. He let her go. And this is all we saying for Travis. Brenda Cole, thank you for the 10. We appreciate you, Mom. Thank Honey K, our moderator, our sister in the building. Thank you for your support with the 10, saying, I ain't got no comment. I ain't got no question. Just showing sheer love today. Appreciate you so much for your support. We thank you, as always, one of our great supporters. Blue Skies Mom says, great news, Mama. You got support here, Brenda Cole. See, we got some mamas here in the chat. They understand what you might be going through. They can relate to your circumstance. Mike Mello in the building. Thank you for supporting being here. Tanya F says, amen, Brenda Cole. God is sitting on the throne, looking after young men like your boy. We are glad, we are thankful that he has, even after 3 years, sometimes it might take that long for these young bucks to come to their senses. And that's all we advocating for when we talk about somebody like a Travis Hunter. Ain't nobody saying dump your girl. Ain't nobody saying drop her. Ain't nobody trying to disrespect her. We just saying, bro, at 21. Some of us old heads can relate to how we was thinking, how we was feeling, what we were going through at 21, and saying, we ain't had a bag, nothing like you about to get. We ain't had nothing like the media scrutiny that is about to be on your head. Bro, just take a few years. A few years, like our sister Brenda Cole said, after 3 years, bro, after 3 years, you might be thinking differently about your whole life. Let's say you think a certain way at 21, where you are now, having a couple years into your relationship with your girl. Maybe you're going to feel a different way at 25, 27. After a few years in the league, after going through a few different things, a few life experiences, social experiences, psychological experiences, you're going to be a whole different person. And so is she. You might not make it through. And that's why people are throwing up the red flags and putting up the warning signs. Let's continue with this video as Anton Daniels reacts to Dr. Umar, and I react to all of it.
Thought if they don't start bunny hopping.
Like he did a good job.
But anyhow, you have not played an NFL game. You have not even been through the NFL draft. You have no idea of the type of women you're going to meet whenever you get to whatever team that you're going to play for.
NIL deal.
He's still a child. You've only been in Boulder, Colorado, and you've been in Jackson, Mississippi. Why not give yourself some time to explore life before you just jump the hoop with this woman, you know? And I'm not going to
listen. You got to be a person of experience. You got to be an OG. You got to have lived a life to look at a 21-year-old and say you a child. To say you are inexperienced. You don't know nothing. You ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for life. You got to be a whole grown up to look at a situation like that and say, boy, you ain't nothing but a boy.
Say nothing against the young lady. She might be a nice young lady. Obviously, I have issues with it because I believe black men should be married to black women. And this looks like it's going to be another tragic tale of another multi-million-dollar black athlete who sooner or later is going.
All right, this is where we disagree with Dr. Umar, because he go hard on this and he feel like this is the hill that he's going to die upon. Okay, Dr. Umar. He ain't gonna let it go. He ain't gonna let up on it. He feel like black folks should be married to black folks. I disagree 100%. Marry who you want to marry. Connect with who you want to connect with. Bond with whoever you bond with. We got to get to a point and you know, this man is an intellectual. We call him Dr. Umar because he earned a legit PhD, but you got to get beyond the point where all you see is color first, bro. All you see is race. And we can go into that further on another video, but man, get over it. That is not the issue we are discussing here. If this man falls in love with a woman who is of another race, ain't nothing wrong with it. And I don't think you should advocate that brothers restrict their options to a certain ethnicity. That sounds foolish to me, but I'm gonna let you cook, bro. We're not gonna harp on that, but I hope you get off that mountain, because it's not a hill that I feel you should die on with all your experience and intellect.
Going to get divorced, and his non-black wife is going to run off with all of his career earnings, as we've seen with so many other athletes and continue to see on a regular basis. So I'm not for it at all. But again, I'm not besmirching her character. I'm sure she's a fine young lady.
He just did. He just did. He literally just did, low key. And listen, I'm not saying that he's wrong or that he's not potentially wrong. I don't want to wish that on a young bull. I don't. I just seen a clip where he was on his own channel and he said that if he was able to relive any moment, it would be the first date that he had with his now fiance. That boy is so green. The world can see how green that he is. And for whatever reason, he ain't looking at nothing. If I could get the women on the panel on Monday night to not pay attention to the comments as much as Travis Hunter is not paying attention to what people are talking about when it comes to all of the red flags and all of the warning signs of rocking out with this girl. Boy, oh boy. And again, I don't want to wish that on a young bull, but it's almost like it gotta happen to him. Hopefully, the only thing that you can tell Travis Hunter at this point is to get a prenuptial agreement and make sure that it's ironclad. Make sure she gets her own lawyer, that they live with it for 6 months prior to getting married. The whole 9 yards. It doesn't mean that it wouldn't go left, and it doesn't mean that he's gonna get divorced. Because again, you know, you can hope for the best, prepare for the worst, give advice. I would not, if I'm him, if I'm the number one football player in the country, ain't no way in the world that I would be getting married to a woman that said that she wasn't interested in me until all of this other stuff, and he wasn't her type and all of this. Now all of a sudden he her type. Jesus Christ.
But for him,
all right, let me just pose a question to the chat, because we got a few people in here this afternoon, and I appreciate y'all rocking out with your boy on a Sunday. But I want to know, this chick said when he hollered at her in her DMs, she said he wasn't her type. Those were her words. He wasn't her type. She wasn't feeling this dude. He wasn't her type. What does that mean to you in the chat? I'm going to give y'all just a couple seconds just to chime in, because I know we got a lot of females in the chat that can interpret what that means. What does that mean when a woman says to a man, to a brother who tries to holler at her, you ain't my type? What does that mean? What does it mean to you? How do you interpret that? I'm going to give y'all a couple seconds to chime in. What do y'all think that meant? How do y'all interpret that when a woman says, he hollered at me in my DMs, he wasn't my type? Oh my. She, Donna C says, it means I was not checking for you, but that money is my type. Woo. Woo. Mike Mello says, not interested. Blue Sky's mom said she was looking for a thug and a bad boy. Yeah, he's anything but that. He's most definitely a soft nerd. And ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. We don't want you to be out here in the streets. We want you to take care of business. We want you to go to class. We want you to get the grades. Definitely a beta, Blue Sky's mom. All right. Y'all seem a little bashful today. Y'all don't want to chime in. Okay. Well, let's assume that. Ooh. Mac Militant says she can easily manipulate him. That seems like that's what she's been doing. Seems like she's been manipulating the whole situation. Mac Militant. Tanya F says it means not interested, period, brain. Nothing you can do. Not interested. Well, at some point, Tanya F, she became interested. At some point, she spun the block. After 2 months of leaving him on read, she spun the block. She said, hey, bro, how about we go out and create a situation? And he was still wide open at that point. And per her explanation in a previous video, said, oh, well, we went to a little event, a little private party for my friend who was having a little situation. And after that, we fell in love. Oh, after he wasn't your type, you can all of a sudden feel like you fell in love forever? Donna C said she gonna manipulate the check. Brenda Cole said she's trying to say like she made an exception for him. How can you make an exception for somebody who ain't your type? What is the exception? What's the exception to the rule? Do women not set up certain rules, certain boundaries for people who are their type? If he gonna go above and beyond the boundary and the rule, what is that? Brenda Cole? Tanya F says exactly. Once she found out who he was and what kind of money he could potentially bring in, she laid low. Okay, she switched her whole situation. I get it. Donna C says the exception, Urban Southern Cookie says the exception to her rule is that bag he has. I get it. Ms. Kofi says, as a mother of 2 young men, yes, he needs to wait. I'm thankful that you said that. Thank you for contributing that to the chat. We think that is reasonable. We don't think that's unreasonable at all. Ain't nobody telling you to diss your girl. Ain't nobody telling you to walk away. They're just telling you to wait just a minute, because people who come into your life and fake an attitude, fake a persona, fake a personality, fake a love, they can only fake it for so long. So why don't you stretch it out a little bit, bro, and test the limits of her fakery? Because she might be able to fake it from 20 to 21, 19 to 21. But can she fake it from 19 to 25? Or are you going to see some signs along the way where you say to yourself, nah, this ain't it for me? Ms. Kofi says, yes, he needs to wait. He needs to fast and pray. We can only suggest, but these children don't always listen. Listen, Miss Kofi, he ain't listening to nobody. If he ain't listening to Coach Prime, he ain't listening to nobody. We just out here on the internet having a conversation amongst ourselves, trying to possibly use this circumstance in order to help somebody else, because I think this one right here is too far gone. He ain't listening to his mama. He ain't listening to his grandmama. He ain't listening to Coach Prime. We all saw on Shador's podcast where he broke the news. Shador was like, what? It's supposed to be your boy, your road dog. And Shador was like, you got a date already? What do you mean? This your homie. And he didn't know. He found out on a live podcast. He said, yeah, bro, she done already paid for everything. It's already said. He said, bro, you can save some money. Just have the wedding at Pop's house. Round about yonder way. Just have the money over at the mansion. Save you some money. He said, no, she done already set it up. Well, what we discovered listening to these other podcasters who are digging into this much more than I, and presenting information to the world, to the community, y'all, she done set up the wedding in Tennessee. Where there are much more lenient laws in place when it comes to prenups. And prenups can be broken. The prenups can be challenged. If anybody loves this boy, this man, he's 21, y'all. He's a man. He's a young man. He's an inexperienced man, but he's a man. If anybody got love for this boy, they should tell him, it's fine that you go down to Chattanooga and have a big old ceremony for her people. If she wants to be controlling to that extent where you can't do nothing without her planning it, funding it with your money, and putting things in place according to her rules, well, how about you go down to the courthouse in Boulder? How about you roll up to Denver real quick and get somebody to sign off on that prenup? And then you ride your tail all the way down there to Chattanooga and had the biggest ceremony you could possibly have. But that marriage certificate is issued in the state of Colorado. Because if she gets your tail down there, in that state where those prenup laws can easily be overcome, ain't no such thing as ironclad down there. Those prenups can be challenged in court and have proven to lose in the past, bro. You setting yourself up for a crazy situation, and you have to wonder if your people ain't down there in Chattanooga and your team is up there in Boulder. Why would you choose to have a ceremony way down yonder way? Seem like you being set up, my boy. Thank you, Urban Southern Cookie. We appreciate your support. Says tens of millions I see equals Tennessee. Yeah, tens I see equals Tennessee. She gonna walk away with tens of millions if this boy allow her to go down there to Chattanooga. So somewhere where he ain't got no connection, ain't got no people. Boy, why is your wedding planned in Chattanooga of all places? Seem like you being plotted on, my boy. And I love the fact that these OGs on the internet are lending their voices to the situation just to alert people, not only he himself, but people like Prime, to say, hey, bro, something ain't right with this. What is going on? Can you intervene, please? You got this boy's ear. He calls you a father figure. His daddy been in and out of the situation, vacation for a while, so we don't know how strong that relationship is. But Coach Prime, can you please intervene and say something about what you're seeing here on this internet? Because it looked like something shady going on. It looked like this boy about to crash out, and the community is rallying around trying to help this young man. And y'all, I couldn't be more happier to see it.
Him to be engaged already,
Crazy.
and for him to be about to get married and he doesn't even have a prenuptial agreement. Are you out of your mind, Travis Hunter?
Facts.
No disrespect to the young brother. I'm a fan, but bruh, slow this down. Put the marriage on ice. I need him to put that marriage on ice for about 2 or 3 years and don't have any children out of wedlock while that marriage is on ice. My fear, Art, is he's going to run into the queen of his dreams, and it's going to be too late.
He already did. He already did. He already did. You should see the way Umar got to do his research.
Too late. You know, so I just think the brother moving too fast. So many of our black athletes, they run into these non-black women in college, you know, and they just think that that's what their life is all about. You know, she's the best thing since life bred, not to demean any woman of any culture, but we should be with our own women. And one thing I appreciate about Deion Sanders, although I'm still not happy with the move he made to Colorado, making all that money for a predominantly white college that does nothing for black
Get
people.
over it,
But
Umar.
nonetheless, one thing I do respect about Coach Prime, you don't see his sons doing that.
Facts.
You don't see Shador and the other brother, the cornerback with a safety, the other Sanders. What's his name?
Shallow.
Shiloh Sanders. Shout out to Shiloh. Forgive me for forgetting your name there, young Prince. But you don't see Shador and Shiloh being all booed up with no girl in college. You notice that? You always see them by themselves.
Stay focused.
You don't see them. I've never seen any
right. You gotta
photo
stay focused.
of either one of them, Shador or Shiloh, booed up with any girl, black or white, in college because they father not having that. Deion Sanders knows how this goes. He knows how women will try to hitch their cart to your wagon.
Considering that, right? And shout out to Art of Dialogue. This dude been on it. He been killing it for a long time now. Considering that, I wonder if Travis Hunter, I'm trying to understand what his family structure is like. You know what I'm saying? That it begs more questions like, do he have a strong father in his life outside of the influence from Deion Sanders? You know, what is his mom like? Did he grow up in a single parent household? I'm just curious. He's a well-spoken young man. When I seen him describe his regimen of how he stay focused and keep his body and how he takes so many naps and don't get involved in no nonsense and all of that, I think he is an incredible young man. It would just be such a tragedy because so many young guys and so many men in general are blinded by some of the people that's in their life. I would just be curious about that.
And, you know, he knows.
Well, we just found out about his father situation in the last few days. We just found out leading up to his Heisman acceptance speech. His daddy just got out of jail a few days ago, a week ago, December 5th, I believe. Y'all fact check me on that. His daddy just got out of jail. So he chose, according to reports, he chose to watch the ceremony from a location where he was. He saw it on TV. He probably in a halfway house somewhere, trying to get his life together. We know what the family situation is. It's broken like many other situations. That's why I love to see brothers coming together, trying to stand on business, trying to defend this young man and help this young man out on this journey. Yeah, his daddy done had some struggles, clearly. But a lot of these young brothers have had struggles. But I don't always see brothers coming together and trying to put a narrative out here and try to raise the red flags and try to send out alerts and say, hey, bro, we like what you got. We like what you do. We support you. We supported Prime the whole way. And because you under Prime's umbrella, we supporting you. We going to rally together and try to put a narrative out here to try to help you come to yourself and change your mind and alter your path and be a better person. It's brothers out here trying to fill that father figure role because your daddy ain't always been present, just like he wasn't present at your ceremony because he just got out of lockup last week. We don't know the circumstances of it. We're not even going to opine on it, but we need brothers like Deion to feel this internet energy and channel it off into your ear because he seems to be the only one that you listen to.
How this goes. And I think he had to sit down with Shiloh and Shador and said, listen, y'all can have all the fun y'all want. You better be protecting yourself and you better not be getting booed up with no woman. You built this. We built this. If you're going to choose a woman, you're going to choose her with this head, not the other one. And so I appreciate Deion Sanders for not allowing his sons to fall into the same trap that it appears Travis Hunter has fallen into. You know, it's such a shame. Such a shame. So unfortunate to be that great and to still be a victim of the Snow Bunny crisis. It's just ridiculous. Now, some people are saying she's mixed race. Some people are saying she got a black mom.
It don't matter what she is. He's still stuck on the identity politics of whether she a black girl or a white girl or whatever she is. It's the fact that he's so blind as a young man to what is about to possibly happen to him from a woman. It wouldn't matter if she was black or she was white or she was mixed or any of that stuff. None of that matters to me. What I see is a dude that is green. He is green. He can't see past this chick. I hope it work out for him. That's all I can say.
Black.
I agree, y'all. This is why I decided to put y'all in the matrix and not just react to Dr. Umar, but react to Anton Daniels reacting to Dr. Umar, because there's a lot of things we agree on, and this point is one of them. You follow Dr. Umar for some time, you know he about to die on this hill. He don't care nothing about what you say. He don't care nothing about what you think. He ain't into that interracial marriage type stuff. And we're not going to cast aspersions there. I could go down a whole road right here. But Dr. Umar says that's the hill he going to die on. Okay. He ain't with it. And he sees everything through that lens. So as long as you on that page, he not going to fully agree with you no matter what you do. Race ain't got nothing to do with it. Marry who you love. But make sure the person that you love is who you think they are. Make sure that the person you love is not just some imaginary figure in your mind. Make sure that that person that you love is not somebody who's been busting it open at the club down there in Atlanta, allegedly.
That, but that doesn't mean anything to me because, as you know, although I consider mixed race Africans to be
he would
black,
never go against
as long as they identify full time,
he would never
I
go
have
against
seen
his,
no evidence
his
that
large-
Travis
his fan
Hunter's
base, which
girlfriend
is
has ever
primarily black women.
identified as a black woman, ever. So
He would
even
never go
if
against
she's
that.
biologically African
This is why
and
this
has a
is
black
biased.
parent, for me and most Pan-Africanists, you have to not only be biologically black, you have to be psychologically black. And I haven't seen any proof at all that Travis Hunter's girlfriend identifies as a black woman. But again, no disrespect to her. This is no hate to her. All we saying is we want to keep black money in the black community, and we want to keep black celebrities with our own black women. It's just
Travis
a
Hunter, I don't
self-love
wanna hear
thing.
none of that.
It has nothing to do with hate. And I just hope the
This
brother
is where we
wakes up
disagree.
and realizes what's going on before she takes half of what he's about to earn.
This is where we disagree. I don't align with that sentiment because I think that people should go where they appreciate it and celebrate it, not where they tolerate it. That doesn't apply to Travis Hunter, as it appears that she got with him after realizing that it was Travis Hunter. And so she made an executive business decision, which Travis Hunter should be making an executive business decision, but she probably do everything that he won't because she making an investment in her future. And she probably blocking off got the hater blockers off, like get off of me, and trying to get to that bag, trying to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
As intel.
All right, y'all, we can stop it there because, in my opinion, I haven't seen anything to justify that particular opinion. It don't seem to me like she doing everything he want. She giving him everything he need. No, it seemed like he's so green that his nose is so wide open that somebody like her has taken advantage of the situation and moved in and is controlling everything, such that he just shot his initial promo video for his new endorsement with Adidas, and somehow she done worked herself into the video. What? Where y'all see that at? You don't. And that's one of the things I agree with Dr. Umar on. He said, hey, you see Shadur and you see Shiloh, Dion, Coach Prime ain't trained his sons to go up like that. Yeah, they got girls. Yeah, they got female friends. Yeah, they out there. They young bulls. They out there doing their thing, but you don't ever see them running around with them on their arm. These is young dudes. Matter of fact, Shadur is a year older than Travis. But you don't see him out there rocking out with his female on his own. Y'all don't even know who his female is because he ain't made no commitment like that. And when he was on that podcast with Travis, and Travis said he was going to do this, that, and the third, Shador was like, what? Man, it's your boy. He's supposed to be your guy. He's supposed to know all of that. He said, what? You got a date already? He was like, yeah, we already got the date. He's like, when is it? Gave him the date. He was like, bro, what? He said, yeah, we gonna get married before the draft combine and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. He's like, bro, are you serious? He said, look, you could do it at Pop's house. Go back. We got some lawyers, man. We can help you get your money. You can help you get your money back. Travis was like, no, she done already paid for it. Paid for it with what, bro? What she do? What is her profession? What is her career other than being attached to you? And your NIL money and your endorsement money, soon to be NFL money. What is her source of income? Seems like she go live practically every day. That might be a source of income, but wouldn't nobody care about nothing she had to say if she wasn't connected to you? Therefore, you are the income. But you have reduced yourself to a beta male who is subject to this woman with this Jezebel spirit who is controlling your life, controlling your mind, and thus controlling your career.